I'm Ashley Dvorkin, and this is Tech Take. It's one thing to get one email intended for someone else, but when you get 14,000 messages from Facebook in a foreign language meant for a teen in another country, it's much more than a nuisance. This all happened to our guest, Crystal McKenzie, and she's joining me by phone to share her story. Welcome, Crystal.
Hi, thank you so much.
So let's start at the top of this story. Ironically, you were going to leave Facebook, right? And then what happened?
Right. When I was pregnant with my son around 2011, I left Facebook and had no account of my own. And then last April or May, I, on my new email account, got something saying I had signed up for Facebook, but it was in Spanish. And at first I thought it was some sort of phishing scheme, but when I checked it out, I discovered it was legitimate, and I assumed someone just made a typo. So I translated it in Google to find out which button to click and told Facebook this isn't me. And I got a message back saying, great, we're disassociating you from the account. Only the email notifications for her continued.
So what was the next step? I mean, first of all, how long of a process has this been? So there's various steps that you have taken throughout a very long time period now.
Right. I just got the email stopped last Monday. And I've been battling with them for months, trying to find a person at Facebook who would listen to me. The first thing I did was each notification email had its own option to unsubscribe from that type of notification. And when I would click it, it would say, you're not on this account, or something to that effect. So somehow in Facebook's system, my email had been disassociated from her login, but not her notifications, and it wasn't allowing me to unsubscribe. I wrote Facebook via their abuse email. I tried to join with a fake account just to post on their forum for help. That was marked as abusive and wouldn't let me post, even though there was no foul language or really angry descriptors. I even wrote their PR email address where journalists can write in for feedback because I hoped that would be a manned account, and I heard nothing back from them at all. One step that I took that I was really hopeful would help me, I started looking up who was on their advisory board, and their safety advisory board has someone named Terry Aftab, who is an executive director of WiredSafety.org, and they are interested in online safety for children. And the young lady who had an account, for whom I was even receiving her private messages, seems to be a teenager. And I thought, well, maybe this person can help me. I don't want to know when her boyfriends write her, love messages. And this woman told me she passed my messages along to Facebook, but by September she said, well, there's really nothing I can do. So I'm sure Facebook heard something, or at least according to her they did. But still, I never heard from Facebook at all until I contacted Kashmir Hill at Forbes, and then she was able to get the email stopped.
Okay, so in the end, what did you hear was the explanation now that it's been resolved? Who finally got back to you, and what was the explanation for all this, and the explanation for, it having to take so many steps for you to get it resolved?
I never heard anything about why it took so many steps, and to this day I haven't heard from Facebook directly in any way. The only thing I heard from them was through Kashmir, where they wrote her back to thank her for letting them know about the problem. They said it was an isolated incident that could only occur when someone did not confirm their email address, but yet went on to confirm the account via a cell phone. And what troubles me about that, though, is that I'm not sure why that would still happen when I went and, I guess, declined the account or said that it wasn't me. But on the Forbes article, there are so many people writing in to say they've had similar problems, and they can't get it to stop either, and they've got no way of contacting Facebook.
Of course. And now, were you ever concerned that it might be something along the lines of identity theft or something beyond, it's that you're getting somebody else's email, or it's a nuisance that you're getting all of these messages?
Right. I didn't think it was identity theft because she clearly wasn't in any way taking on my name, just my email. I don't know if it's a typo. Maybe she had an account name similar to mine on her email address, and maybe it's saved in her web browser. I don't know. But since there were no commercial transactions occurring, I don't think that this was malicious on her end. And I don't know her. I don't in any way think it was meant to be harassment. And so for me, the big thing was I could see so much of this girl's private life.
Of course. And so what advice would you give somebody if they were to come across a similar situation?
keep fighting. I did not want to abandon this email, but the bigger issue for me, again, is I love to stress to people, this for me wasn't even about something being irritating or annoying, weeding through all of this spam, but this was a gap that if it happened to me, it could happen to someone else. Some child's information was exposed. Keep trying to talk to people to let them know. I mean, I really thought I was going to have to print out 14,000 emails and mail it to Facebook to get their attention. But I'm grateful that people finally started to listen and took this seriously as a problem.
Incredible. Well, great. Thank you, Crystal. I'm glad that it has finally been resolved. Hopefully it'll be calm now when you check your emails. And
Yes.
very much appreciate you sharing your story with us.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for joining us. I'm Ashley Dvorkin.